It's the game of the week. Today we're at Metropolitan Stadium in Minnesota as the 1970 World Series champion Minnesota Twins take on the surprising and hard-charging Chicago White Sox. Minnesota's one game below 500 with a record of 16 and 17. While Chicago, who lost 100 games last year, is in second place with a record of 19 and 12, 2.5 games behind Oakland. We will be right back with the starting lineups. We're at Metropolitan Stadium for today's game between Chicago and Minnesota. Joe Horlen takes the mound for Chicago. He's made 2 starts on the year. He's 2-0 with an ERA of 0.60. This is his first start against Minnesota. He'll be opposed by Jim Kaat from Minnesota. He's made 8 starts on the year and is 2-4 with an ERA of 5.31. He's 1-0 with a 1.0 ERA against Chicago this year. It's a chilly 64 degrees with wind speed of 2 miles per hour out to right field. We have light rain. It's May 15th, 1971. The Preakness has just been run with the surprise winner of the Kentucky Derby, Cannonero, winning the Preakness and silencing the critics that his win was a fluke. So he is 2/3 of the way on the way to a possible Triple Crown win. Starting lineup for the visiting Chicago White Sox. Leading off, the first baseman, Carlos May. Batting second, the second baseman, Rich McKinney. Batting third, the left fielder, Rick Reichard. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Bill Melton. Batting fifth, the center fielder, Mike Hirschberger. Batting sixth, the shortstop, Lee Richard. Batting seventh, the catcher, Ed Herman. Batting eighth, the right fielder, Ed Stroud. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Joe Horlen. On defense, Minnesota has Jim Holt at first base, Rod Carew at second base, Leo Cardenas at shortstop, Harmon Killebrew at third base, Cesar Tovar in left field, Paul Powell in center field, Tony Oliva in right field, Paul Ratliff catching, and on the mound is Jim Kaat. Jim Kaat is mainly a fastball pitcher, but he's not overpowering. This will be his 8th start of the year. He has 4 complete games. He has a record of 2-4 with an ERA of 5.31. In 57 2/3 innings, he's given up 78 hits, 6 of those home runs. He has walked 18 and struck out 21. Leading off is Carlos May, hitting .308, 2 home runs and 14 runs batted in. Carlos May was one of baseball's biggest stories last season when he came back after losing part of his thumb in a training accident while on military maneuvers. Here's the first pitch. Strike one called. Fly ball down the left field line. Tovar is after it, but it makes the seats. The high fly ball into center field. Powell drifting over, and he's got it. 1 out. Here's Rich McKinney. He's hitting .367, 6 home runs, 25 runs batted in. He is in his second year as a major leaguer. He appeared in 78 games with the White Sox last year, and he hit 174 last year. So he has improved quite a bit in his sophomore season. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a high fly ball in the right field. Tony Oliva drifting over, and he's got it. 2 outs. Here is Rick Reichard. He's hitting .312, 3 home runs, 13 runs batted in. This is Reichard's first season with the White Sox. He previously played for the Angels and the Senators. The 0-2 pitch. Check the swing. Called strike 3. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Chicago nothing, Minnesota coming to bat. Minnesota's starting lineup. Leading off is Cesar Tovar in left. Rod Carew at second. Batting third is the right fielder Tony Oliva. Batting fourth to third baseman Harmon Killebrew. Batting fifth to shortstop Leo Cardenas. Batting sixth to first baseman Jim Holt. Batting seventh to catcher Paul Ratliff. Batting eighth to center fielder Paul Powell. And batting ninth to pitcher Jim Cott. On defense, the White Sox have Carlos May at first, Rich McKinney at second, Lee Richard at shortstop, Bill Melton at third, Rick Reichard in left, Mike Hirschberger in center, Ed Stroud in right field, Ed Herman catching, and on the mound is Joe Horland. Joe Horland's 34 years old. He's a fastball pitcher, but his fastball doesn't have much speed these days. He's kind of a junk baller. This is his third start of the year. He is 2-0. He's with an ERA of 0.60. He's pitched 15 innings. He's given up 11 hits. No home runs. He's walked 2. He struck out 7. He won the Cy Young Award in 1967. Made his first start on May 4th. He was injured during spring training. First start was a shutout against the Red Sox. And his second start was against the Yankees, where he pitched 6 innings and got the win. He's facing another Cy Young Award winner. Jim Cott won the Cy Young in 1966. And he was the World Series MVP in 1965. Leading off is Cesar Tovar. He's He's hitting 324, no home runs, and 13 runs batted in. He's hitting 377 in May. The 2-2 pitch. It's a grounder to short. Richards up with it. Throw to first. 1 out. Here is Rod Carew. He's hitting 342. No home runs, 10 runs batted in. Carew was the Rookie of the Year in 1967. He missed most of last season due to injuries, but was able to come back in time to make the postseason. And he was the MVP of the 1970 World Series. Let's see. Yeah, he was 9 for 18 in the World Series. He played in 5 of the 6 games. Had 1 home run, 5 runs batted in. He had a 500 batting average. He also walked 3 times. He had 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. He's hitting 408 in May. The 0-2 pitch. Fly ball to center field. Hirschberger going back, and he's got it. 2 outs. Here's Tony Oliva. He is hitting 295. 6 home runs and 25 runs batted in. Tony Oliva, in 1964, he was both the MVP and the Rookie of the Year. And he was the MVP of the American League Championship Series last year. Earlier this year, he took offense to some comments that he thought Lefty Phillips, the Angels manager, had directed toward him about skipping games when he was slumping. And Phillips called him and assured him that he was just talking in general. He was not talking about Oliva specifically, he said. And Oliva seemed like he accepted that response from Phillips, and there was no feud between the two. He's hitting 314 in May. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 up and 3 down. Nothing across for Minnesota in the first. We played 1 in Minnesota, no score. It'll be Bill Melton, Mike Hirschberger, and Lee Richard for Chicago in the second. Bill Melton, he's hitting 366, 7 home runs and 27 runs batted in. He is second in the AL in batting average, 7th in home runs, and 6th in RBIs. Bill Melton's a rookie this year. He's another good-looking rookie. There's a lot of good-looking rookies that I've seen this year. And this kid is one of them. And a spoiler alert, he will be a future member of the Cleveland Indians. Although I only vaguely remember him being with the Indians. Sitting 432 in May. The 0-2 pitch. He hits a grounder to first. Holt has it. He'll take it himself. 1 out. Here is Mike Hirschberger. He's hitting 333. No home runs, no runs batted in. See about Hirschberger. Hirschberger was signed in spring training as a free agent by the White Sox. Played for the White Sox from 1962 to 1964. Then went to Kansas City A's. He played with Kansas City and Oakland. And then last year he played for Milwaukee. Signed a free agent contract with Chicago in spring training and started off the season in the minor leagues. And he has just been called up. This is his third game back with the White Sox. The 0-1 pitch. It's a grounder back to the mound. Cott is up with it to throw to first. 2 outs. Here is Lee Richard. He's hitting 244. 1 home run and 6 RBIs. Like Bill Melton, he's a rookie this year. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nothing across for Chicago in the second. We go to the bottom of the second. It is Chicago nothing, Minnesota nothing. For the Twins in the second, it will be Harmon Killebrew, Leo Cardenas, and Jim Holt. Harmon Killebrew is hitting .282 with 7 home runs, 22 runs batted in. He has 473 home runs in his career. And I'm expecting him to go over 500 home runs this year. He was asked about who he thought might have a chance at surpassing Babe Ruth's home run records. He said he doesn't have a chance. But he thinks that if anybody does, it is Henry Aaron. Simply because Henry Aaron is younger than Willie Mays. Hitting 300 in May. The 1-1 pitch. Fly ball in center field. Hirschberger going back at the wall, and he's got it. 1 out. Here is Leo Cardenas hitting 286. 3 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Cardenas is in his 3rd season with Minnesota. After starting his major league career in 1960 with the Cincinnati Reds. And a spoiler alert, he is a future member of the Cleveland Indians. In fact, he will be the Indians' first designated hitter. I think. Or no, I think forget I said that. 2-1 pitch. It's a base hit in the left field. Riker came in quick, but he took it on the hop. Cardenas played in the game that the Indians used their first designated hitter, but thinking back now, I think he was a starting shortstop that day for Cleveland. Here is Jim Holt. He's hitting 302, no home runs, and 7 runs batted in. Hitting 349 in May. Too high, ball 1. It's fly ball to right field. Stroud coming in. Got it. 2 outs. Ball started sinking pretty quickly, and Stroud made a nice running catch on it. Here's the catcher, Paul Ratliff. He's hitting 220, 2 home runs, and 10 runs batted in. Low one outside, ball one. Low one inside, ball two. Fouls it back out of play, strike one. Low and away, ball three. Fouls it back, strike two. Full count, 2 outs. Payoff pitch. Changeup. Liner down the left field line, but that's foul. Fouls that one back. Count remains full. Fouls that one back. Cardinals is running, but the pitch is outside. Ball four. Here it's Paul Powell, center fielder. He's hitting 156. No home runs, no runs batted. Powell, he's a rookie too today. Hitting 156 against right-handers. Fouls the first pitch back, strike one. Too high, ball one. Ground ball to third. Melton up with it. Throws to second for the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. We played 2 in Minnesota, no score. Ed Herman leads off for Chicago. Hitting 258, 4 home runs, and 13 runs batted in. 3-1 pitch. It's a hard grounder to first. Bull takes it, and he makes the put out. 1 out. Here is Ed Stroud hitting 176. No home runs, 4 runs batted in. Stroud started off with the White Sox. A couple of token appearances. In 1966, 1967. Then during the 1967 season, he went over to Washington. We played until last season, and now he's back with Chicago. The 2-1 pitch. It's base hit in the left field. Tovar retrieves it, tosses it back in. Stroud is caught between first and second. And Holt tags him for the out. Let's watch that again. Base hit in the left field. Tovar throws to Cardenas. To Holt. And Holt tags Stroud, trying to get back to first. 2 outs. Here's the pitcher, Joe Horland. Is hitting .000. No home runs, no runs batted in. He is 0 for 6 on the season. Two pitch. It's a grounder to second. Crew is up with it to throw to first. 3 outs. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, no one left. We go to the bottom of the third in Minnesota, no score. Cott leads off for Minnesota. He's hitting 100. No home runs, 1 run batted in. He's 2 for 20 on the season. The 0-1 pitch. It's grounder to third. Melton up with it. Go to first. Cott is safe. Melton was a little slow on making that play. Here is Cesar Tovar. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out in the first inning. Cott is running. Tovar swings. It's a base hit into center field. And Cott takes third on the hit and run. Minnesota's got something going here. They have runners on the corners with nobody out. And here's Rod Carew, who's 0 for 1. He flied out in the first inning. Hitting .308 with runners in scoring position. Ball 1. Fly ball down the right field line. Stroud is after it, but it makes the seats. 1-1 pitch. Inside on the black. Strike 2. Foul tip. Strike 2. Count is 1-2. Hard grounder to second. McKinney up with it. Second for 1 to first. Double play. 4-6-3 double play, but Cott scores. It's 1-0 Minnesota. Here is Tony Oliva, who's 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning. The 1-1 pitch. It's a grounder to second. McKinney's up with it. Throw to first. 3 outs. But Minnesota gets 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, no one left. We played 3 in Minnesota. It's the Twins 1, the White Sox nothing. Looking around the league. Bottom of the 5th at Fenway Park. The Orioles lead the Red Sox 4-3. That is Mike Cuellar against Sonny Siebert. The Orioles took advantage of a short New York Yankees slump and moved back into first place in the American League East. Top of the 4th at Wrigley Field. No score between the Padres and the Cubs. That is Dave Roberts against Milt Pappas. And I have to take a short break. And we are back. As I was saying at the top of the 4th, no score at Wrigley Field between the Padres and the Cubs. It's Dave Roberts against Milt Pappas. They're both 5-2. Dave Roberts was the National League Pitcher of the Week last week. Bottom of the 7th at Yankee Stadium. Yankees lead the Indians 3-1. Felipe Lewis 3 for 3. That's Camilo Pascual against Steve Klein. And at top of the 4th in Kansas City, the A's lead the Royals 2-0. That is Blue Moon Odom against Dick Drago. And now in the 4th inning, for Chicago, it will be Carlos May, Rich McKinney, and Rick Reichert. Carlos May is 0 for 1 today. Wide out his first time up. Hitting .351 against lefties. The 2-1 pitch. He hits a base hit in the left field. Here is Rich McKinney. He's 0 for 1 today. He flied out in the first inning. He leads the American League with a .364 average. Bunt. Pulled up with it. He throws to Carew covering first. 1 out. May takes second on the sacrifice. Here is Rick Reichert, who is 0 for 1. He struck out in the first. He has a 6-game hitting streak. Fouls it back, strike one. Ball one, inside. May going for third. The throw to Killebrew. May is safe. That is his 5th stolen base of the year. Pitch was called a strike. Ratliff's throw is a little high. 1-2 pitch. 1 out. Runner on third. It's base hit into left field. May scores. That'll tie the deal. Here is Bill Melton, who's 0 for 1. He grounded out in the second inning. Hitting .429 against lefties. Hitting .421 in May. Fly ball in the left field. Tovar going back, and he's got it. 2 outs. Riker holds at first. And here is Mike Kirschberger, who's 0 for 1. He grounded out in the second. Swing and a miss. That was out of the strike zone. Strike one. It's a hard grounder to short. Cardenas throw to first. 3 outs. But Chicago gets 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. We are tied at 1 apiece. 6th inning at Fenway. Red Sox have overtaken the Orioles. Now they lead 5-4. In the 4th for Minnesota, it will be Killebrew, Cardenas, and Holt. Harmon Killebrew is 0 for 1 today. He flied out in the second inning. Gets it on the ground to third. Melton is up with it. Throw to first. 1 out. Here is Leo Cardenas, who is 1 for 1. He singled in the second. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Strikeout number 2 for Joe Horland. Here is Jim Holt, who is 0 for 1. He flied out in the second. The 1-1 pitch. The high chopper to short. Richard up with it. Throw to first. Bang, bang, play. He's out. 3 outs. Nothing across in the bottom. We played 4. We're tied at 1 apiece. Going to the 5th inning. Chicago has 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. They've left 1 on base. Minnesota has 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. They left 2 men on base. For the White Sox, it will be Lee Richard, Ed Herman, and Ed Stroud. Lee Richard is 0 for 1. He struck out in the second inning. The 0-2 pitch. It's a bouncer back to the mound. Todd has it. He throws it first. 1 out. Jim Cott is an excellent fielding pitcher. He might be the best fielding pitcher in the majors. Here's Ed Herman, who's 0 for 1. He grounded out in the third. 2-2 pitch. He hits a base hit in the right field. Here is Ed Stroud. He singled in the third, and then he was caught off first base. So he is 1 for 1 tonight. It's a grounder to short. Cardenas to throw to second. Throw to first. Not in time. 2 outs. And here is Joe Horland, who's 0 for 1. He grounded out in the third. High and outside, ball one. Grounder to first. Bull has it, and he'll take it himself. No runs, one hit, no errors, one left. We go to the bottom of the fifth. We're tied at one apiece. For Minnesota in the fifth, it will be Ratliff, Powell, and Cobb. Paul Ratliff walked in the second inning. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. He was way ahead of that one. Got caught on the changeup. Here is Paul Powell, who is 0 for 1. He grounded into a force play in the second. The 0-1 pitch. It's a bouncer to third. Melton up with it. The throw to first. 2 outs. Here is Jim Cott. He's 1 for 1. He's singled in the third. He's singled on the infield. The 0-1 pitch. Hits it on the ground to short. Richard up with it. The throw to first. 3 outs. Nothing across. We played 5. It's an official game here in Minnesota. Chicago 1, Minnesota 1. Carlos May leads off the 6th inning for Chicago. He is 1 for 2. Flied out in the first and singled in the fourth. 1-1 pitch. Base hit in the right field. Oliva tosses it back in. Here is Rich McKinney, who's 0 for 1. He flied out in the first, and he had a sacrifice bunt in the fourth. Killebrew draws in. Another bunt for McKinney. Ratliff barehands it, but it's only placed first. He throws the crew covering. He's out. That moves Carlos May to second. It's his second successful sacrifice today. Here is Rick Reichard, who is 1 for 2. He struck out in the first. He singled in the fourth, and that scored Carlos May. Hitting .333 with a home run with runners in scoring position. Swing and a miss, strike one. Liner down the left field line, but that's foul. The 0-2 pitch. Low, ball one. Curveball, too high, ball two. Too low, ball three, full count. Payoff pitch. Fly ball in the left field. Tovar going back, but it's gone. It's home run. Home run number 4 for Rick Reichard. That just made it out of here. And Chicago takes a 3-1 lead over Minnesota. Here is Bill Melton, who's 0 for 2. He grounded out in the second and flied out in the fourth. We have 1 out. The 1-1 pitch. Base hit in the left field. Sixth inning at Wrigley, and Padres lead the Cubs 2-0. Padres are another big story this year. They are 4 games under 500. 14-18. That is probably the best they've been at this point in the season. This is their 3rd year of existence. Here is Mike Kirschberger, who's 0 for 2. Grounded out in the second, grounded out in the fourth. Swing and a miss, strike one. Another swing and a miss, strike 2. Grounder down the third base line, but that's foul. He hits a base hit in the left field. Tovar up with it. Tovar came running in, but he played it on the hop. Runners on first and second, one out. Here is Lee Richard, who's 0 for 2. He struck out the second, grounded out in the fifth. They call him BB. It's a grounder to short. Cardinals only play as first. Go to hole. 2 outs, and the runners advance. Melton's on third. Hirschberger's on second. And here is Ed Herman, the catcher. He's 1 for 2. He grounded out in the third and singled in the fifth. Liner down the first base line, but it's foul. Just below the belt, strike 2. Curveball. It's a blooper to third, but it's right at Killebrew. 3 outs, but Chicago gets 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors. They left 2. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It is Chicago 3, Minnesota 1. Top of the order for Minnesota in the 6th. Cesar Tovar, Rod Carew, and Tony Oliva. Tovar is 1 for 2 today. Grounded out in the first and singled in the third. The 0-2 pitch. It's base hit in the left field. That's his second hit of the game. There's Rod Carew, who's 0 for 2. Flied out in the first. And he grounded into a double play in the third. And that scored Jim Cott. Grounder right back to the mound. The second for 1. The first. Double play. 1-4-3 double play. That's the second double play of the game that Carew grounded into. Here is Tony Oliva, who's 0 for 2. He struck out in the first, grounded out in the third. It's a pop-up, right field. Stroud coming in, McKinney going back. And it drops into no man's land. The game calls that a cheap hit. They're calling this one a lucky hit. Here is Harmon Killebrew, who's 0 for 2. Flied out in the second, rounded out in the fourth. Here's the man who's capable of tying this game with one swing of his bat. Ball 1. Strike 1 called. Ball 2. 2 high, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Ball tip. Soft liner to left field. That's a base hit. Leave around second. He'll take third. Runners at the corner. 2 outs. Here is Leo Cardenas, who's 1 for 2. Singled in the second, struck out in the fourth. Herman goes to confer with Borland. Low, ball 1. On the inside part of the plate, strike 1. In there at the knee, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's a liner to second. And McKinney will be there to take it. 3 outs. No runs, 3 hits, no errors. 2 men left. We played 6. It is Chicago 3, Minnesota 1. Leading off in the seventh inning for Chicago is Ed Stroud. He's 1 for 2. He singled in the third, but then was caught off first. And he grounded into a force play in the fifth. 1-2 pitch. He hits a grounder to second. Ooh, up with it. Throw to first. 1 out. Here's Joe Horland. He's 0 for 2 today. He grounded out in the third, grounded out in the fifth. The 1-2 pitch. Loops it over the infield in the left field for a base hit. That is Horland's first hit of the season. Runner on first. 1 out. Here is Carlos May. Carlos May is the younger brother of Lee May, the Cincinnati Reds hard-hitting first baseman. He is 2 for 3 today with a pair of singles. He singled and scored in the sixth. Strike 1 called. In the dirt, that's a wild pitch. Horland moves to second. On the inside corner at the knee, strike 2. Tipped it, but Ratliff held on. Strike 3. Strikeout number 3 for Jim Cotton. Here is Rich McKinney. He is 0 for 1. He flied out, and he had a pair of sacrifice bunts. McKinney leads the American League with his .364 batting average. Below the belt, ball 1. Low and inside, ball 2. Checked the swing, but that caught the outside corner. Strike 1. Down and in, ball 3. Foul tip. Full count, 2 outs. The payoff pitch. Fly ball in the center field. Powell. Drifting over, and he's got it. 3 outs, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Chicago 3, Minnesota 1. Bottom of the 8th at Fenway Park. The Red Sox have overtaken the Orioles. They lead 8-4. Nico Petrocelli hit his 9th home run for Boston. It's Jim Harden against Sonny Siebert. Bottom of the 6th in Chicago, the Padres lead the Cubs 3-0. In a final at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees beat the Indians 4-2. Philippe Lou went 3 for 3. Steve Klein got the win. He's 2-2, and Rich Hand took the loss. He is 0-1. If the Orioles, or if the Red Sox are able to hold on and beat the Orioles, that'll put the Yankees back in first place. Bottom of the 7th for Minnesota will be Jim Holt, Paul Ratliff, and Paul Powell. Holt is 0 for 2. Flied out in the second, grounded out in the 4th. Two pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Here is Paul Ratliff, who's 0 for 1. He walked and he struck out. 2-0 pitch. He hits a fly ball in the left field. Reichart is there. He's got it. 2 outs. Here's Paul Powell, who's 0 for 2. Grounded into a force play in the second, grounded out in the fifth. 2-2 pitch. Fly ball in the right field. Stroud going back, and he's got it. 3 outs. Nothing across for Minnesota in the seventh. We go to the eighth. It is Chicago 3, Minnesota 1. Rick Reichard leads off the eighth inning for Chicago. He's 2 for 3 today. He has 3 runs batted. He's driven in all 3 of Chicago's runs. Singled in the fourth, scoring Carlos May, and then he hit a 2-run homer in the sixth. The 1-2 pitch. Fly ball down in the left field. Tovar going back near the wall, and he's got it. 1 out. Bill Melton, he is 1 for 3. He singled in the sixth. Hitting .425 in May. The 1-1 pitch. Base hit in the left field. Here's Mike Hirschberger, who is 1 for 3. He singled in the sixth. Caught the outside corner, strike 1. Strike 2 called. Curveball, high and away, ball 1. Low, ball 2. Fly ball in the left field. Tovar going back. He's at the track, and he's got it. 2 outs. Here is Lee Richard, who's 0 for 3. Struck out, grounded out. And grounded out again. High pop-up. In the left field, Tovar coming in. Killebrew and Cardenas going back. It drops in between them. Now the game calls that one a cheap hit. Runners at the corners. 2 outs. Here is Ed Herman, who's 1 for 3. He singled in the fifth. Strike 1 called. Strike 2 called. Strike 3 called. That gets a strikeout. No runs. 2 hits. No errors. 2 left. We go to the bottom of the eighth. It is Chicago 3, Minnesota 1. For Chicago, Louis Alvarado now playing second base. Coming in replacing Rich McKinney. Leading off in the bottom of the eighth will be pinch hitter Steve Braun. Braun's hitting .237, no home runs, 4 runs batted in. He is 1 for 5 as a pinch hitter with a double and an RBI. Another rookie today. The 0-2 pitch. Hits a grounder at third. Melton's up with it. Throw to first. 1 out. Here is Cesar Tovar. He's 2 for 3. Grounded out in the first, and he singled in the third, singled in the sixth. 3-1 pitch. Too low, ball 4. Here's Rod Carew, who's over 3. Flat out in the first, and then he hit into double plays in the 3rd inning and the 6th inning. Foul tip, strike 1. He's having an unusually tough day at the plate. Ball 1. Low and inside, ball 2. High and outside, ball 3. Base hit into right field. Tovar around second. He'll take 3rd. And here's Tony Oliva, who's 1 for 3. Singled in the 6th. Runners at the corners. 1 out. There's some chin music from Joe Horland. Ball 1. That's high. Ball 2. Fly ball down the right field line. Stroud's after it. It's after it. But it makes a cease. 2-1 pitch. Base hit up the middle. Tovar scores. Carew around second. He'll take 3rd. It's 3-2, Chicago. Here is Harmon Killebrew. He's 1 for 3 today. He singled in the 5th. Take 176 with a homer. Runners in scoring position. There goes Oliva. Carew breaks for the plate. And he's safe. Carew stole home. Oliva stole second. There's a great double steal. Minnesota ties the game. Let's watch that one again. There goes Oliva. And on the throw, Carew breaks for the plate. And he's safe. That pitch was a ball. Ball 1. Pitch. It's a fly ball in the center field. Hirschberger going back. It's gone. Home run number 8 for Harmon Killebrew. And Minnesota takes a 5-3 lead. Home run number 8 for Harmon Killebrew. Here is Leo Cardenas, who's 1 for 3. He singled in the 2nd. The 2-0 pitch. Base hit into left field. Holt, he is 0 for 3. Flied out in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, struck out in the 7th. High, ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Caught the inside corner, strike 2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And here's Paul Ratliff, who's 0 for 2. He has a walk, struck out in the 5th, and flied out in the 7th. Low and inside, ball 1. 2nd inning at Candlestick Park. The Dodgers lead the Giants 1-0. Giants and the Dodgers are tied for second place. They're both one game behind the surprising Houston Astros, who are in first place in the NL West. Houston has never had a season where they finished with a winning record. Liner down the first base line, but that's foul. It's a grounder up the middle. Alvarado to his right. Has it. Throw to first. 3 outs. But the Twins get 4 runs on 4 hits, no errors. They left 1 on base. We go to the 9th inning. It is Minnesota 5, Chicago 3. Rich Reese comes in to play first base for the Twins. Their new pitcher is Tom Hall. Hall's making his 8th appearance of the year. He has a record of no wins, 3 losses, 1 save, an ERA of 6.16. 19 innings pitched, he's given up 19 hits. 6 of those are home runs. He's walked 4, he struck out 26. Tom Hall is fastball pitcher. He's one of the hardest throwing pitchers in the majors. Last year during the postseason, he was getting routinely throwing over 100 miles an hour. He was 1-0 in the World Series last year. And he started a game in the League Championship Series, but he got knocked out of the game. It was 3 2/3 innings. He gave up 6 hits and 7 runs. Ed Stroud leads off for the White Sox in the 9th. He is 1 for 3. Singled in the 3rd, but got caught off first base. 2-0 pitch. Pops it up out of the infield. The Cardinals will take it. 1 out. Pinch hitting for Joe Horland is Rich Morales. Morales is hitting .290, no home runs, 3 runs batted in. Hitting .357 as a pinch hitter with 2 runs batted in. 5 for 14 as a pinch hitter. 1-0 pitch. Grounder to 3rd. Killebrew up with it. Throw to first. 2 outs. And Chicago is down their last out. It'll be Carlos May. He's 2 for 4. Flied out in the 1st. Singled in the 4th. Singled in the 6th. And struck out in the 7th. 3-2 pitch. It's a liner in the left field. Base. Tovar dives. Can't come up with it. It's in the gap. May is at second with a stand-up double. Here is Luis Alvarado hitting .227, no home runs, 7 runs batted in. Came in as a defensive replacement for Rich McKinney. Fouled the change-off back. Strike 1. Curveball. Hits a grounder to second. Through. Has it. Throw to first. And the Twins win 5-3. Twins had 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors. Chicago had 3 runs, 12 hits, no errors. Jim Kaat gets the win. He's 3-4. And Joe Horland takes the loss. He's 2-1. Tom Hall gets the save. That's save number 2 for him. Until the 8th inning, really, this was a pretty good pitching matchup between a couple of longtime hurlers, Jim Kaat and Joe Horland. Chicago left 8 men on base. Minnesota left 5 men on base. Minnesota broke open the game in the third. Well, they scored first. Kaat singled on the infield. Bill Melton was a little slow getting the ball out of his glove. Tovar singled. Kaat moved to third. Rod Carew hit into a double play, and that scored Jim Kaat. That made it 1-0 Minnesota. Then in the 4th inning, Carlos May led off with a single. McKinney bunted him to first. May stole third. And then Reichert singled, scoring May. That made it Chicago 1, Minnesota 1. 6th inning, May singled. McKinney had another sacrifice bunt, bunted him to second. Then Rick Reichert hit a 2-run homer. That made it 3-1 Minnesota. Or 3-1 Chicago. But Minnesota broke open the game in the 8th. With 1 out, Tovar walked. Carew singled. Oliva singled. That scored Tovar. That made it Chicago 3, Minnesota 2. Then the Twins worked a double steal. Oliva stealing second, Carew stealing home. That tied the game at 3. And then Harmon Killebrew hit a 2-run homer to make it 5-3. And that's where we stood at the end of the game. Star of the game is Harmon Killebrew. He hit his 8th home run. Reichert hit his 4th. Carlos May went 3 for 5 with a double and a stolen base for Chicago. Reichert went 2 for 4 with a home run. He drove in all 3 of Chicago's runs. Oliva was 2 for 4 with a stolen base. Tovar 2 for 3 with a stolen base. Tovar did not have a stolen base. That was Carew did. Killebrew went 2 for 4 with a home run and 2 runs batted in. Time of the game was 2 hours and 41 minutes. This win puts Minnesota with an even 500 record at 17-17, and Chicago drops to 19-13. Once again, the final score, today's game of the week, Minnesota 5, Chicago 3. This was a pretty exciting game, I thought. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.